You were talking about focusing on well-being, get off the topic of money, and that's one of the ways for money to come. It's like the one piece that hasn't come in yet. There's so many other things that flow in.
We're just going to give you a powerful statement. We make this statement a lot. But the statement that we want to make to you is that it doesn't matter what someone is wanting, whether it's a pile of money or a relationship or a circumstance or an event. Everything that everyone wants is because they believe they will feel better in the having of it. So it's all for the emotional response to the experience of it. If you can conjure the emotional responses and leave out the how and the where and the when and the what and the who, just conjure by observing your life experience and the beauty of it as it is, what happens is you begin activating this vibration of well-being, and you do it so chronically. Now, you see, you think you're doing it all the time, and you are doing a good job of it. All of you are to some extent. But when there's something that you want, like money, and you've decided that it's not coming in the abundance that you want it to, you get this vibrational practice going, and without meaning to, you keep perpetuating it just with your normal day-to-day conversation about it. So you really have to stop talking about money altogether, because every time you talk about it, all you do is activate it right where it is. So it's like you're holding it apart from you by your very attention to it. It feels backwards from what our physical friends think that they ought to be able to do, because it feels like if there's something that I want, that I should just dig in and go after it. But the thing is, when you dig in and go after it and you continue to practice the vibration, it's like we like to liken the cork that's floating on the surface of the water. When you hold it under the water, that's what negative emotion is. When you let go of it, it will bob back up to the surface. So every time you're talking about money, you're holding it under the water. That's really the point that we want to make with you. Every time you're talking about it, you're holding it under the water. When you talk about the surf, you let go of the cork. When you talk about the sun, you let go of the cork. When you talk about your physical vitality, you let go of the cork. And this is the thing, we will come back to it again. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Step 1 is you've asked, you've already done that. You don't have to keep talking about money. You don't have to keep asking for money. You've already asked, and there's more that's been amassed than we have any way of actually describing to you. You don't have to keep talking about money, and in fact, when you do, you hold the cork under the water. Step 2 is it's already been amassed. So step 3 is you got to find some way to let it flow to you, and the way to let it flow to you is by no longer talking about money, because when you talk about money, you stop it from flowing. So your friends are saying, how are you doing? Doing really good. How's that money thing going? Don't want to talk about that. Why not? Because everything is going really well for me. Everything going really well for you? Yeah, everything's going really well for me. Even the money, don't want to talk about that. Why? Because everything's going really well for me. Everything's going really well for you? Yeah, everything's going really well for me. How's the money thing? Don't want to talk about that. We know that it feels absurd, but the thing that we really want you to feel, you've got a vibration going on that you've just got to find some way of making an end run around it. Most people say, give me what I want, and then when I observe it, I will feel better. And we say, for sure, for sure, for sure. But you got to feel better before it can come. Got to feel better.